So is it possible to come off it? Yeah, but you'd be constantly kicking and screaming. And the point is, why would you? And the point is, you're not. Okay, I understand completely. We understand completely your question, because I feel as if there is like a void. Now, don't get me wrong when I say a void, it is, and I know you don't, it is not an empty void, it is not an empty space. It's more like a quietness, a hush, beyond the stillness. Okay, stillness is one thing, this is another. It's like a deeper layer, deeper layer, deeper layer. And I would say that that absolutely mirrors what is going on within the collective field. Now, I done a video, I don't know if you follow me on YouTube, but I done a video only last couple of days about talking about how we receive information, and also that we when we start to connect to the unseen and what doesn't seem tangible yet is hugely tangible. Contradictions all the time. What is seen to be untangible, yet it is clearly tangible. When you start to kind of drop into that space, you start to then almost drop into the fabric of everything, and a part of that fabric of everything is the collective field. You know, in my awareness, very much, very deeply, is the collective field, the collective consciousness. And that has really kind of come about, I believe, through the innate leading me to that place. You know, spirit is one layer, the collective field is where the work is being done, I believe. And there is this sense that within the collective field, within the collective consciousness, there's a multitude of things happening. There is this kind of there is this percentage that are in fight or flight, or in confusion. Okay, so it moves from confusion to fight or flight. Then it moves from confusion to fight or flight, back to confusion, fight or flight. It can be seen as unsettledness, irritability. It could be seen as not certain, feeling very unsure, even overwhelmed. You've got the idea. And then within that, there is this almost desire to nail down the future, to nail down what's ahead. There is this part of the collective field, the collective consciousness, that is moving from the now, because it doesn't recognize the now, doesn't know the now, doesn't recognize the now as being normal. It's an unnormal event, it's an unnormal experience, it's not a chartered, known territory, and it is then clutching at what's ahead and can't make sense of it. Alright, so there is that confusion, unsettledness, uncertainty, chaos, fight or flight, exhaustion, don't know, back to confusion, right? But all the time it's like a dissolving that is happening, right? Because what you're looking at here is what will come from this is a surrendering process, which is the dissolving, which is water over a stone. Okay, so the stone becomes smooth, not instantly. It becomes smooth over time. So the surrendering process will happen over time, probably through the circuitry just going round and round, and then almost like burning out, and probably from exhaustion, the surrendering will come. You know, that's that point where someone stands at the top of a hill, or a tower or a bridge, and just kind of leans back and allows the innate to catch them. You know, it's that sense of just surrendering to the process and having to find a deeper layer of trust, but probably through exhaustion. You know, the human collective is kicking and screaming their way into evolution, you know, without a doubt. So that's one part of what is kind of going on, and then there is another element within the collective field, within the collective consciousness, which might be the two world split. It's a question, maybe, possibility, of individuals feeling the need to be present, stripping away the need to push forwards. So instead of pushing forwards, they are walking forwards. As a dear friend says often, either moving in time or through time. So there's this kind of deep requirement, this deep yearning, this deep soulful longing to, rather than try to nail things down or push ahead. Don't get me wrong, it's not about not doing, but it's about kind of more so, you know, almost responding to what is happening at a deeper layer. So, you know, there is this sense of a new paradigm being born, a new way of birthing, and it is in that process. So, you know, why root yourself to something that's in movement? Another way to put it is, you know, just ride that wave of that movement before you kind of decide that you're going to lay your foundations and build your house. You know, so there is that element as well, and I think there is, you know, a huge sway of individuals that are really feeling that and feeling the kind of urgency to just stay present and allow this to show itself more fully before taking the next step, or before building the foundations. You know, let the earth be born before you build the foundations on it. Yeah, let the new earth be born before you build the foundation. So what you'll find is that's where that void is, right? So there's this huge pause, and I think those that are sensitive to the requirement of what is needed is just to breathe and to be present right now, right here in the now, and kind of, you know, giving up that sense of trying to control the outcome of this, because it isn't formulated, it isn't structured yet. So, you know, there's a huge amount of stuff happening. So, you know, I kind of get a sense of you know, am I, you know, that beautiful question, um, that beautiful question um, that you've placed to me, Renara, is that, you know, am I still on the path? Well, are you anything but that? Can you be anything but on the path? And what's required is, um, you know, continue to probably absorb the pause, right? Because I do believe the pause is a dissolving of anything that continues to not serve your growth, or get behind your greatest version of self. And I don't say that lightly. um, and it will have a sense of, at some point, a reordering, which is probably unraveling parallel to all of this anyway. But you can't be anything but where you are, and for you to come off the path, you would have to um, really kick and scream and push back from that. So I think it is yet again the word that comes to mind. For many of us, it's like on that old chestnut, is to continue to trust the process. But there is this deeper layer of dissolving happening, and a deeper layer of dissolving of outcomes, um, controlling the future, um, and this real sense of, you know, allowing. You know, it's very, very powerful, and I'm seeing that within big swathes of the spiritual community as well. You know, there's been, over the last 18 months, there's been quite a divide. There is this two world split. There's been quite a divide within the collective field, as well. And actually, there's this third, and a really dear friend of mine mentioned it today in an email that she sent me, about this third sphere, um, beginning to show itself. You know, so you've got the divide, and you've got this third sphere, and the third sphere is, I believe, is neither here, neither there. It sits in this space of love, and not said lightly, and that is not, you know, flaky, fluffy. You know, it is this sense of absolutely kind of, in a way, being removed from both of those two world splits, and kind of in this other space, that can see both, right? That isn't just entrenched in one, can absolutely see both, and actually has compassion and love and goodness for both, right? Has a deep understanding for both. Okay, and it can actually understand that both of those kind of paradigms and narratives are moving through a lot of stuff also. And the third is this sense of, I think, it's a deeper layer of sovereignty. It is absolutely fueled by love, that is absolutely for sure. And I'm beginning to see it, in the world around me, and also can kind of feel it rising up in me, which is this sense of almost, and I see it in people fairly close to me. I'm not sure that everyone recognises it in themselves, but it's certainly happening and birthing, is this sense of just standing back. And also, you know, it will feel kind of detached, but let's understand detachment. This is not detachment that I don't care, and it's not detachment that I'm completely separate. Actually, it's probably the opposite of that. It's I'm fully immersed, but I'm not triggered, maybe. That's one way of putting it. It's very hard to express language that is still forming within your awareness, or your awareness is still forming around what is happening. But there is this sense of standing back, but fully immersed, but coming at it with deep understanding and deep awareness, and it is completely fueled by love. I think, what probably brings that about is experience, and a deep layer of sense of self. So, food for thought, absolutely food for thought. I'm going to leave that with you.